Yeah, it's still getting that little sputtering sound over here. Even when I've got the Furman plugged in too. So. That's even with the volume off. You hear it?
Yeah.
It's with the volume off.
So can they hear the microphone or the play?
Right now it's the mic.
Hey! What's happening, everybody? I'm like, what's happening, everybody? It's Ike from Flipside Music. I'm here, as always, with Dylan, who is over there in the control room here at the top of Flipside Towers.
Oh, yeah, I guess we can't.
In our media,
There we go.
our media thing. So, welcome. What the FAQ? Thursday, part of Guitar Prime Time. We do 4 o'clock. We go live. Then we hand it off to our fellas over at Texas Toast Guitars. And they talk for an hour. And then they hand it over to Dylan Talks Tone, who talks tone for an hour.
Yes.
For those of you guys that are brand new here.
All right.
Oh, look. Here, Dylan is joining the stream.
Yeah, we should be good now.
So, yeah, lots of doings. Lots of doings this week. Anyway.
Yes. Well, yeah, we can kind of get into that in a second.
Yeah,
After the hellos.
we'll shoot the breeze for a wee bit, and then we'll play a little bit. And
Yeah.
we did that in sync. Did you see that?
Oh, did we?
That was like a stereo move.
ZZ topping it.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden we've turned into ZZ Top. Anyway, so let's say hello to everybody. This is actually very nice, the fact that we have this giant TV now that we can actually...
Well, it's nice because, like,
can
at least the
actually-
camera and everything's kind of near each other, so it doesn't look like we're just staring off into nothing.
Right. But we can actually read it, too. Or
Yes.
at least I can read it.
Yes.
So that's pretty awesome. We got Paul McNary.
Oop.
Ah,
Pick down.
No,
Pick down.
It's falling into the vortex. So, Paul McNary is here. And Jeffrey Egan, what's happening? Hey, Joy, what's happening? Long time no see. It's only been
Since yesterday.
less than
yeah.
12 hours or so, I think. Yeah, we all went to Jim Jam Jimmy's retirement party
Nice.
last night. He retired from Coors Brewery. So, Jimmy's a very cool dude. Check him out, Jim Jam Jimmy. Does a lot of rock and roll, rockabilly stuff. And
Yes,
he's
he actually does some pretty well. That and has some of especially that SG-ish Texas toast that he's got.
Oh, the
that thing is
prostitute?
sweet. Yeah, that one's pretty sweet. But yeah, let's get how long was he there? How many?
Well, it's funny because I got stuck at the shop yesterday because of that whole everything got set back because of the scam alert.
Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah.
we can go through that here.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys all about that if you want to hear it. So we had somebody that tried to scam us yesterday out of a $3,200 guitar, but
Yeah,
my good abilities, I think all the years of watching Columbo.
paid off. Yeah.
Let me ask you, let me ask you one more question there. So what you're telling me is, yeah, I think all the years of that shit made me very aware. Anyway, we went to Jimmy's party yesterday. That's where I was. Was that where I was in the story?
Yes, mostly.
Okay. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah,
I don't know.
mostly.
So we went there, and I left the shop late. That's where I was. I left the shop later.
Oh,
So by the time I had to go home and I had to feed Dave, that's my dog, for those of you guys that don't know. We'll have to bring him in here one of these days.
Yeah.
Had to go there, and then I went to the bar afterwards. But it's funny because I texted him. I was like, hey, man, what time does this thing start? He goes, about an hour and a half ago. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So, but Jimmy makes great barbecue.
Yes.
barbecue-
Yeah, I'll have
he's
to
so
try it.
good
Yeah,
at it,
because like I said, last time I talked to him, he said all the right things that indicated awesome barbecue. So
No, his barbecue is top notch. I've had it more than once. Hey, there's
well,
the
and
Texas
it's
toast.
so
Fellas.
difficult in Colorado to find anybody that actually does make really good barbecue. It's like it's very few and far between here.
You've been over his house, right? You've
Yeah.
Been over to the,
Yeah, it just wasn't. I don't think it was. It was one of the Thanksgiving things, and then what was the last time? Last time I think it was just a hangout. I don't think there was
Just
food.
hang out, get
Yeah, I
drunk
don't think there was food.
at the-
Oh yeah, we went to the steakhouse. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went to the steakhouse and we all ordered fish. That's what that was.
Yeah,
That was what
right.
yeah. That was actually pretty
But
funny.
yeah, he's got a big smoker, like a trailer smoker.
Yes. Well, that's what I mean. Like between what he was telling me and then, like I said, he said all the. I mean, I don't personally know, but any of the guys that I ever hear talk about that stuff, it does seem like there's, a certain amount of time that's involved that's pretty critical, especially for like a good brisket. And I feel like that's what, at least in Colorado, they rush it, and so it's always dry.
Yeah,
and it's like
just shoe leather.
Yeah, it's like they rush it, whereas like you gotta. I guess that's something you gotta give it its time, or else it's not worth it.
No, and I think Jimmy does it because he's got a hell of a process when it comes to that stuff
Right.
too. So yeah, I mean, the shit's top notch. And of course, I'm like, can I get a to-go plate, please? Because I like to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made some wings the other night because it was like 2 nights in a row. We were at the house, and then last night was the
final.
So the night before we were over there just hanging out. That's actually I stopped over at Texas Toast, and they're like, "Hey, you want a beer?" And I'm like, "Well, of course."
Yeah.
So the Texas Toast guys are they have a class next week, and I believe Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone is going to be there winding pickups and working with folks. So
Oh, cool. Yeah,
make
that's, I guess,
sure
coming
if you
out quicker
don't,
than I
yeah,
thought,
if you guys don't subscribe to those guys, do and watch their stuff because next week Dylan will be there, and I think I'm going to pop in.
Are we going to do any? I was going to say we may as well try to see if we could figure out some kind of guitar prime time meeting.
That could be a cool thing. We could ask them.
Yeah, if they have time. I don't know because I know both the Texas Toast guys, and I'm sure he's got quite a schedule too in terms of moving around. And
so some of these guys, so they're building obviously building guitars. So it's a whole class next week, and a lot of times with the Texas Toast guys on their classes, there's a lot of guys that are regulars.
Oh yeah.
There's
course,
like
yeah.
Doug Santaniello, and then there's Doc up from Canada.
Right.
So there's a lot of those guys, and they kind of know their way around the shop a bit. From what Matt was telling me, this is a whole bunch of new dudes that are
a whole new one. Okay.
Yeah. So whole bunch of new dudes that are coming, and that's why he mentioned on the thing that they're cleaning the shop.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Because there's just shit everywhere. Yeah, as shops.
As a good shop should, yeah. They're
Right.
busy. If they're busy making shit, a shop should be
Right.
messed up.
So
yeah.
I think they're going through and getting the place all ready, for
Yeah.
the new setup. So
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, I mean that should be a pretty cool. Like I said, I knew that was happening. I just didn't realize it was already happening. Feels like everything. Because even speaking of events, we just did the pedal swap and meet over at True Brewing over the weekend, which was pretty fun on Sunday. Looked like Jacob popped in the chat. He was hanging out with us there most of the day, and actually I was pretty satisfied with it. It was kind of funny. I think everybody was trying to gauge it since it was the first one, and we haven't done it before, and we weren't really. Well, nobody really knew what to expect, and I think that was actually probably a good thing because it was a nice kind of soft landing, just kind of a hangout, and I really had fun with it. So I think we'll definitely do it again. If anything, I guess I'm trying to figure out how do we best keep up the momentum that we kind of got from it, because it's like even if we do every other time, every other time we do it here, we host or they host or whatever it ends up being, but I'd kind of like to make it a pretty regular thing because. I think
it was fun.
It was fun, and now that I got a glimpse of it,
I didn't get there till you guys were closing it
kind of
down.
wrapping up, but
that was the way the schedule kind of worked. We
had
to do it, but it seemed like it was a good time. And then talking to Shane over at True, he said he wanted to do it more often. So I think it'd be good if we did.
Well, and from what I could gather, it seemed like they said they had a pretty good turnout in terms of. It was close to, or at least they were estimating it was close to double the number of people they would normally have in there in the morning. So I think as far as getting people in, it was, it worked out for them and ended up being good. A lot of people that I would have not expected to be there, but a lot of people that I had invited ended up being out of town because there was some shows going down in Austin. So anyway, I think next time is going to be even better just because now we have a better idea of what to expect, and I think we'll have an even bigger turnout because everybody was pretty happy with it. It was just that the first part of it was actually so busy. It was really kind of hard to try anything.
What to expect?
Yeah, because that's the whole thing of now I know that I have a better idea of what to do, and especially if we were to ever host anything like that, I think I would have a really good idea of separating out the stations from the boards a little bit, and having some demo boards with some very specific things, kind of ready. Because this time I didn't know, so I kind of just made it kind of a blank canvas for people to kind of try whatever they wanted to. And I think, not that it needed more direction, but I think it would have benefited from putting some of the more boutique stuff just on one board and letting people just kind of move through it on their own rather than because I think some people were a little more shy to like, hey, I want to try this one out, whereas other people that have gone to like any guitar show, some of them were like immediately they were ready to try the stuff. So I think the next time I think we have a better idea of how to do it so that we can get, I don't know, maybe make it easier for people to try more stuff, I guess.
Well, I think we didn't know what to expect.
Yes, yeah.
So it was really cool to kind of to do it just to see if people were going to be interested.
Yes.
Was kind of the thing. Like, hey, are people going to go for this? And they did.
Yes.
So now we can kind of grow on that with having that experience. We can kind of figure out what to do next time. I'd like to be at the next one, just to shoot the shit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, with James on tour, that was just kind of how it worked out this time. But I think next time we should be able to get that worked out. And but yeah, no, it was good. We had a lot of our regulars, but we also had a lot of people that we haven't met before, haven't been in the shop. So I think on all accounts, I think it was good for just the sheer number of people that we got to talk to and meet and stuff. So I think it was good, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun because it's like every once in a while, like we do this stuff so often. I don't want to say that we get jaded because that kind of is more depending on what else is going on. Because I wouldn't really say like the stuff that we sell and we do doesn't really jade us towards anything. It's just hard to.
We're hyper familiar with all of this stuff that it's hard to take a new perspective or to feel that like reinvigorated about something. Yeah,
and I feel like this was a good way to feel better, like, because even just talking to people about the different combos of pedals, just even just getting into like everybody kind of has their thing. Like some people are fuzz people, some people are drive guys, some people like really weird reverbs or even combos of different pedals and stuff. Or like one guy at the thing, like a lot of his stuff was, no, I wouldn't say backwards, but it is backwards from what most people would tell you to do. So like he was running a lot of, he had like I think he had like two reverbs that he was actually running into this like rat style distortion that was pretty cool. And I forgot his name. I think because like Chuck and Mike knew him pretty well. I think he might have been in a band with Chuck at some point, but I meant to get his name anyway. He had a pretty cool combo, and then like Jacob, he had like 3 or 4 reverbs all kind of changed, which was actually really cool. I didn't realize though he was running like all of them all the time, and he was kind of explaining to me how he did that.
Oh wow!
And I was like, that is interesting because a lot of it was like dynamic based, and so it sounded actually pretty interesting. So next time I actually want to plug his board in because even though I'm not like super good I'm not super good at the soupy reverbs is what I was about to say, but that sounded redundant. I still like to mess with that stuff, but it was just one that like the idea of chaining that many reverbs actually sounds pretty cool. So
yeah, because I'm not big on the reverb, but it's cool. And it's funny because I've been messing around. I don't even do a lot of delay. You know that.
Oh yeah.
But I've been playing with that Yamaha little amp, that practice amp, and that one's got a really cool delay on it. And so now I find myself been messing with that, and it's got chorus and all that other stuff. So it's like, it's fun to kind of explore the stuff that you don't normally use. Because I use reverb, but I just don't use a lot. It's just enough to fatten it up, to open it up, to make it a little bit bigger sounding.
Yeah.
But I want to say hello to a few people that had kind of showed up. So Tim White showed up. So what's happening, Tim?
Hey,
yes,
Tim.
It was at True Brewery.
Yes.
On Broadway. And then Doc is here too. And then Brian Duncan is here as well. I saw Brian last night. And Brian's asking if this is a Yamaha amp. Yes, it is. It's an old school.
Yeah, I think it's the old G100.
G100 212.
Yeah.
This thing sounds really killer. I mean, it's an old solid state amp. It was kind of going against the Twin, really, is what.
Yeah, I think that was the original design for it.
And we've had this thing for, 4 years probably.
Well, at least, the whole thing with that was, so our first guitar tech, Nick, had actually, like, fished that out of the dumpster because somebody thought it was broken.
No, we had a customer. I think we had a customer.
No, that one I remember because he did have another one that happened with. But this one, this one, like, somebody literally, we don't know who or when, it was somebody at the rehearsal space had just tossed it in the dumpster.
Oh, okay.
And so he ended up fishing it out of there, and he just sprayed out all the pots, and it was fine. But the pots were literally so bad that you would think it was not working, and so I think somebody was just like, screw it, get rid of it.
Yeah, and it sounds killer.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it's got a really nice low end. It's very full sounding.
Yeah,
it's a really cool amp. That's why we still got it.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically, I mean, the way it always sounded to me. I mean, it doesn't quite do the stereo thing, obviously, like a JC does, but it kind of has that jazz chorus meets twin reverb kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but anyway, we right now it's just holding up the sign until we actually.
Now it's an end table essentially.
Yeah, until we hang up the sign. Right now it's just kind of holding it up. So,
Joy says that the live looks good. Thank you, because I was talking to her about all that stuff. Weedy's in here. What's happening? Janice Lala's in here. Weedy's asking about Keeley Viboverb.
Oh, yeah, I didn't actually bring that one, but we are playing some Keeley pedals today. Yeah, I was going to say next time we do, it'll probably be a while, but next time we do a Keeley one, I could go ahead and throw that in. Yeah, this time I think I brought the Dynatrem, the Hydra, and the Bubbletron.
Bubbletron!
Yeah. But yeah, I was going to say, I guess, speaking of which, we could roll into some of that here in a minute, unless there's anybody else. Hey, Weedy. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I think that's pretty much it for now. Oh yeah, did you want to go? Does anybody even want to hear the scam story? I guess it's up to you guys. If you want Ike to tell it, let us know pretty quick.
Yeah, it was otherwise, an adventure yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Otherwise, we'll roll into the pedal playery.
So Weedy was like, I think the Keeley is like the slow.
The Viboverb?
Yeah, I don't.
No, because the Viboverb is very much just kind of, if you need your amp to kind of sound like a Princeton reverb or deluxe reverb, you need basically the vibrato and trem out of not vibrato and trem, vibrato, which is technically a trem on that one, out of the, a Fender style reverb is essentially what that one's kind of going for. They do have a few others though that would hit more of. If you're looking for a slow, honestly, from Keeley in terms of their reverbs, I'll have to look into that. I can't say I'm as acquainted with their. I mean, the Caverns is obviously always good, but that's more combo delay reverb. In terms of the slow, because the slow is so ambient. It's just a little bit different than anything. Like most of Keeley's stuff, I would say, is a little bit more reined in.
A little bit more contained.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, Weedy, send me an email with all that stuff. Just send me the email to the email address. Okay? So, because I know you're trying to get me on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. Dude, just emails.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to see that. The stuff that goes through Instagram or...
Yeah, that's mostly through Jake these days. That's not even us.
Yeah, our social media guy will read that. I do get that stuff, but it's easier if we just keep it,
contain the emails.
Yeah, because there's just too much. We get too much stuff. It's hard to know, and I'm gonna miss something along the way. So
yes,
that'll work. Brian had to run out, so he said he can't stay, but wanted to pop in. So I appreciate you popping in and saying hello. But a few people wanted to hear about the scam.
Okay.
So, all right, I'll do a quick 5-minute story. So we had a guy yesterday who called looking for an expensive guitar, and he wanted it overnighted. Okay, so that sounded odd right out of the gate.
Well, overnighted to an area, obviously, not near us.
To another city. So it sounded odd to me, because why would you need something overnighted? It's not a special guitar.
Well, that, and I can't imagine any guitar player on the planet right now would necessarily, unless there's some random thing of they're traveling and their guitar got broken. But even then, I still can't imagine a scenario where a guitar player that's gigging wouldn't have another guitar.
Right, would have to have that. So the red flag pops up in regards to that. And then he tells the guys, well, the shipping and the billing address are going to be different. And I go, that's not necessarily a good thing either.
Yeah.
So then we send him an invoice, and he calls and says he can't pay the invoice because there's a problem with the system, which we don't really have. But we've been through this before with other scammers, and we realize that sometimes they don't want to go that route because they feel they can get through if you try to ring.
Well, that or if they realize we are using Shopify, they realize that pretty much anything, because like that does seem to be the ones that have tried it always do seem to state that ahead of time, and I can't say any other legit customer has ever known the inner workings of how Shopify pings those orders.
Because we have fraud protection through our website and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that didn't seem right. He's like, can I just pay for it, over the phone? Which we usually don't do. That's not a normal thing unless it's somebody we know.
Yeah, that
if Janice called us, or if Tim called, or Brian, or Weedy, or anybody that's on the chat that we already know, that we've dealt with, Doc.
Yeah.
If it's somebody we know, sure, we'll take the card. We know who it is. We know where they are. No big deal. When it's not, we still have to run that through the system so that the system can check for fraud. So he gives me a story, and I go, man, this story just doesn't sound right. I'm feeling it right here. Like, it just doesn't jive. So then he gives me the address, and I go, oh, you're here in Denver. And he goes, no, I'm in this town. And I go, yeah, Denver. And he goes, no, I'm in this town. And I go,
Yeah, specifically, we won't say what suburb, but specifically not knowing the suburb was part of Denver, which was nobody who's from here would say that. So
yeah. So like, if you're in Denver and you live in the suburb of like Centennial or Thornton or Wheat Ridge or something
Parker,
like that,
or
Parker, you'd go. If you were speaking to somebody outside of the area, you'd go, yeah, I'm in Denver.
Yeah, I'm in the Denver area, or
You'd only be very specific if you're speaking to somebody in the city.
Right.
So that kind of caught me as another thing going, wow, why would you insist it was that city? So it kind of triggered me again going,
well, specifically Arvada, because I've never, even people from Arvada don't ever say Arvada. Like, nobody says Arvada.
Right, it's still Denver.
So
then that caught me differently. And then I said, hey, man, the city you live in has this big music store. They have it. I'm looking at their website. Go there. Yeah. Why do you need it from us overnight? And he was pushing to get it shipped overnight and by a certain time and all this other stuff. And I go, man, all of this just doesn't seem right. So then I got on the phone and talked to him again. And I'm like, hey, man, we're just going to cancel the order. And he's pushing me. Oh, man, I got this gig. This could be a make or break gig for me. And I'm like, the more he's pushing the story, the more,
higher that red flag goes.
He doesn't know me. I'm like, I'm not your average fucking person. I've been around the block. I've heard a bunch of bullshit. I know what shit smells like. So he is just kind of giving me this one story, and I go, hey man, I looked up this dude's name, your name, with that address, and that's a 75-year-old man. You don't sound like a 75-year-old man. And the name seemed very Caucasian, and the dude I was talking to didn't. So it's just like these little things not adding up, and so I was just like, hey man, we're not sending this guitar. We're not going to do it. Man, you don't understand. I'm taking a chance on you guys. And I go, you're taking it. He goes, I just need you to kind of work with me and believe in me, man. All you got to do is ship it out. You'll get paid. And I go, hey man, it was one of those things. I'm like, you can verify who we are. You can look online and see we're a store. I don't know who the fuck you are. And I go, I'm going to side on the err on the side of caution, because none of this is adding up.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I tell him, I go, why don't you just call that music? There's a big music store in your town. Go there. They
have one. Yeah.
I see it on their website, and he tells me, no, I called them, and it's in the warehouse, and they can't have it ready for me in time. And he was trying to have it by the next day is the bullshit he was trying to feed me. And I'm like, man, if you walked into any music store in this country and tried to offer them, you wanted to buy a $3,200 guitar, they're going to go out of their way to get you that guitar.
Yeah, they'll make it happen.
Yeah. I know I would.
Oh, yeah.
I know. If the moon was made of ribs.
Well, even I would. Even as far as this part has gone, it's like that was still quite a bit of time to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
But it's like, it's still it's one of those things. Like, especially when it comes down to like the specific town he was in. Like,
Right.
yeah, we won't go into the details, but like all of it just really.
It just a lot of this stuff doesn't add up. And the thing is we've done this long enough. We've talked to a bunch of people. We get a sense for when people aren't being forthright.
Yes.
With their information. And the thing is, too, is if you keep somebody talking, they will fuck up. And something won't add up. So that's why I kept talking to him, going, hey, man, what's this gig? What's this kind of the thing? What's this? What's that? And he had an answer for everything. And then when I kind of called him out a little bit about the 75-year-old man thing, he goes, oh, well, I'm Junior. That's my dad. And I go, I'm doing the math going, if that was your dad, you'd be older. And you don't sound that old.
Well, again, given the benefit of the doubt, you're kind of like, well, speaking as a junior, since you're a junior yourself, right. You're like, that's usually something. Because I've actually heard you say that quite a few times when you're, especially even when you deal with reps for the very first time. I've heard you say, oh, by the way, I'm a junior. Make sure that's on there because you don't want it getting confused or getting card numbers or whatever mixed up with. Yeah, and people do that a lot. Like if we have anybody that calls the shop that's a junior, like a lot of times they specifically want you to know that so that you don't get any of the billing messed up or anything. And because like I imagine that's frustrating for both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So none of this shit's adding up, right? And then I call him back, and he's like, well, I called the bank, and they said this and that. And I said, what? Here's what I need you to do. Take a picture. I go, I need you to send me a copy of your license, front and back, and the credit card you're using, front and back, with the addresses. I need that verification. I'll call the bank. Yeah. He gives me a number. And so, of course, I call the number. There's no answer. But then what I did is I called that music store that he said that didn't have the guitar available. So I call him up and say, hey, this is Ike from Flipside Music in Denver. Do you guys have this? And the guy goes, yeah, we got one. I go, well, do you have one in store like right now that if somebody walked in, they could walk out with it? It's ready to go, set up. And he goes, yeah, man, I'm looking at it right on the wall. He goes, it's right there. And I go, okay. And that was like the final nail in the coffin for me. Because I'm like, all this other shit didn't add up. And by that time, I already made the decision, I am not sending this guitar.
Yeah.
You are not going to push me into doing some shit I don't want to do.
But even just to make sure, kind of check all the bases. Yeah. And I mean, and I think that was
the one that was like, okay, now I caught you in a dead-ass lie.
Right.
100%. So I just called him back, and I'm like, hey, man, this is what's going to happen. This ain't going to get shipped. He's like, but, man, I got this gig. I go, dude, I called the place that you said don't have it, and they have one on the wall. I go, this ain't getting shipped. Try this shit somewhere else. And I hung up.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And then final cap on it, getting back to the old man and his name.
Oh, yeah, getting back to that. So I did a Google search and all that stuff. And I actually called a number that was available online, and I ended up talking to his wife. And I called her, and I said, hey, do you know that there's somebody trying to use your credit card? And she goes, who is this? And I go, my name's Ike. I'm with Flipside Music here in Denver. I just want to let you know that somebody tried to use your card to purchase an expensive instrument. And I didn't know if you were aware of it or not, but I wanted to give you, the knowledge that this is happening. She's like, oh my God, I've been dealing with this all day. Whoever this is buying all sorts of expensive things all over the place. And I go, I just want you to know that we caught them, or at
least stopped that one.
We stopped this one, so we refunded it. So it's all. So you don't have to worry about it. But I'm glad you're aware that it's happening. And apparently she was already dealing with it.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh my God, you guys are very astute. Because she was an older lady. She was obviously probably in her 70s.
Well, I'm sure she's appreciated
because you guys are very astute to figure that out. I don't know how you guys figured it out. I go, well, we've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
And when stuff doesn't sound right, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well, and I think each time something's happened, we've learned a handful of very important things that make the other ones stand out even more when it happens. Like whether it's local or not, because like now, even like the times we've gotten people arrested at the shop, like it's happened enough that we've had that shit happen that, like there's certain signs that pop up that are just immediate flags. So it's like, it sucks that you have to go through it, and it sucks that people got to do that shit, but at least hopefully, with this, they at least have an idea of where he might be or something, but.
Right. And, the thing is when you say something that, who would know that? You know what I mean? Like a scammer would know that.
Oh, especially when
like
it comes to the Shopify
with the
part.
Shopify
Yeah,
thing,
because like that's and people have done that on the phone, and I've been like, yeah, we're not doing this because like they know how that part of the system works at least enough to know that you get flagged whenever the card doesn't line up with the shipping address,
right.
or vice versa, and or like we get ones where they're flagged quite often. If like let's say somebody tries multiple cards. That's another immediate one where people have like called up and been like, "Hey, where's my order? I placed my order," and I'll be like, "Yeah, sorry, we canceled that. You tried it with 3 different cards. You know, it declined one of them 3 times, and the other ones declined immediately. Like just things that just seem completely abnormal. Yeah,
things that wouldn't normally happen.
Yeah.
So we've just gotten used to being, and honestly, the system analyzes it, and then we make sort of make the final call. I do have it somewhat on an automated thing. Like if it comes up with even a whiff
right
of fraud, we're not even touching it.
Yes.
You know. But so that's it.
Right.
Jeffrey says yes. America's astute
music store. Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah. And then it looked like Metalhead popped in there. So hey, Metalhead, how's it going, man?
What's going on, hippie man?
All right. Well, yeah, I think we got a few minutes left. I'll get into the pedals.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, we're good. That was
Chat.
So today, like I said, I brought a few Keeley pedals. We may not get to all of them. We'll try to get to some. Right now, we're running the I was about to say the G20. We're running the D20 from Rev. I'm also running the G2 preamp, so that way you guys hear a little bit of drive with it too. And we're going to start out with the Dynatrum. I'm going to go over to the computer real quick and just switch over the audio. And
while he's doing that, I'm going to show you a quick. That's going to be our new D20.
Oh, sweet. Oh, I like that. It's old school. I like that a lot. That's cool.
So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. But Derek from Rev sent me, yeah, there you go. That's a little blurry.
Yeah. Well, because the focus is set for, it's not on auto.
Anyway, you can fill in, you can, that's the glaucoma version of the D20.
He's got glaucoma.
Yeah.
All right.
You got glaucoma. I can't see shit, man. Anyway, that's going to look cool.
Yes.
Oh. And just so you know, what is it, Wednesday the 5th of April, come and check out. The guys from Rev are going to be here. They're going to have the stuff that they're going to present at NAMM, the new amps, and we're going to have Sean Tubbs, who's going to play, and it's going to be pretty freaking awesome.
Sorry, nothing here's comments. Pretty funny. Well, he actually had a funnier one too about Highlands Ranch, and he's totally right about that. That people that are from Highlands Ranch always have to go out of their way to tell you they're from Highlands Ranch instead of saying, it's like, no, you're from Denver.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like people from Cherry Creek, like, no, you're from Denver. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't believe Ike just ruined that guy's gig. It could have been his big break. It was so funny because he was getting choked up too, and I go, man, it was just the more he kept talking, the more I'm like, you're so full of shit.
Yeah.
Like it was having the complete opposite effect.
Yeah.
Than what he intended.
All right,
let's get some. And there's a shirt I saw online that said "Fuck your clean tone."
Yeah,
I thought
I
thought about buying that for when I go to the NAMM show because that'd be funny, and then get a picture with Andy.
That would actually yeah.
Be like, no offense, Andy.
Yeah,
it's got nothing to do with you, buddy.
Yeah. All right, so as you guys can see in the shitty pedal cam view.
Shitty pedal cam. Oh, you know, like my shitty pedal cam.
All right, we're the terrible camera view. It's just at a bad angle.
I just saw that episode of South
Park.
Yeah. You know, like my shitty wall.
Anyway, Jacob was asking actually before we get into this if the Rev deal is going to be at the Legacy Shop.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Legacy Shop. We'd love to have it here in this room. The problem is what we want people to show up. So it's not going to be just a closed door thing. It's going to be whoever wants to show up and be part of this. Yeah. So we got to put the word out a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, man, come down. It's going to be cool.
Definitely come down.
We got to figure out how to clean everything out though, and where we're going to put all that shit.
Well, that's the part I'm trying to get. Part of me wants.
Don't worry, we'll make it. I want to do it here, but it's just going to be. We can't. It's just.
It's a river.
I mean, we could, but it's fucked.
It's a party down by the river.
Right.
All right. So yeah, we'll switch over to the. we're not going to do a clean tone because I got the drive on, so we're doing that into the Dynatron. I mainly wanted that because it, as the name suggests, it's dynamic. Oh yeah, I forgot, I'm just a disembodied voice right now.
Yes, you are.
But anyway, yeah, I'm the pedal father above.
No, I'll just, yeah.
Just have my that actually would be funny, like do the Monty Python with the picture of God, but it's just like me with the ball.
Yeah, and it's like, or we're gonna get Ziggy to be up here.
Have Ziggy stand up.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll switch back over. The Dynatron though is a dynamic trim, so it will actually react to whatever you put into it in terms of signal, but also how you pick. So if you pick harder or softer, it'll react to that, or if you pick slower or faster, it will also react to that. So we'll kind of go through that and we'll see.
All right, one last question. Nothing here said, did the D20 have a wood head cab? Yes, they're going to start making the D20s with a wooden cab as an option.
Yes,
so that's going to be really cool. And I worked a deal out with Derek, and he's like, because that way we can, because we use that to showcase the pedals, and that's what we're going to continue to use because it just sounds
better. Yeah.
It sounds great. And I got one personally, and I really like it.
Yeah. All right, so switching over to the Rev. Should be back to that cam. Cool. Yeah, that was actually pretty sweet. It's been a while since I tried that one. I know Eric loves that one, and I can kind of see why. Like it's very reactive to how.
Yeah, it's very touch sensitive.
Yes.
You know, and then that last thing was kind of cool because, like, it would do the thing while the strings were engaged, and as soon as I let go or muted them, it would cut it. I'm like, oh, that's a different way.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a cool auto like swelling trend, like a whoop,
definitely an interesting way to have to. You're gonna have to refigure how to play that.
Well, it's kind of cool because it plays to you and you play to it, so that was definitely pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna switch over. We probably only got time for one more.
Bubbletron?
Your pick.
I haven't played the Bubbletron. This is a filter, right? This should be a Jerry Garcia bit, right? Isn't this kind of a Q-tron?
If I remember right, I think Goots was pointing. I think it had more to do with Zappa than Garcia, if I remember right.
Oh, this has got a filter.
If Goots happens to be in the chat, feel free to.
Yeah. So it's a filter phase
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this had more to do with Zappa, and I do not know any Zappa. I don't know if you do, but
I don't know anything right offhand, to be honest. I mean, I know plenty of Zappa. I just
Well,
don't
yeah,
know
in terms of-
any of it.
right.
I've spent many a misspent youth night, my misspent youth,
Right.
listening to, getting high, and listening to Zappa.
All right.
It's Alfonso's pancake breakfast, where I stole the margarine.
Yep. I forgot to mute the amp. At least that's not going through to the public.
Yeah.
You guys are safe. Your ears are safe. All right. I think it's
Hey there, brother.
okay. So
Don't go
we'll
jabbing
go ahead
me
and
with
switch
that
over.
cosmic debris.
All right, let me switch the audio over. Oh, and nothing here was asking if it was always a hard gate. No, I think it was only gating when. Like when he had the depth maxed is when the gate kind of started.
Yeah, that started. Yeah, and I don't know if that I liked.
Yeah, but like for a part, that could be really.
Yeah.
cool, 'cause,
No,
like,
I think there's a lot of usable bits to it.
Yes.
But that wasn't for all of it. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so yeah, now we'll try the Bubbletron, and then we'll probably do our wrap up here in just a sec.
All right, so we got a few comments in here. Very entertaining sounds that I'm used. Okay, cool. I'm glad Jessica was digging it. Far out, man. Yeah, there's some groovy tones in there to be had. So if you're looking for something that's got that. There's some artifacts in there that
that one's,
I can hear that's very interesting.
I was gonna say I've always actually. I mean that one. It's funny because like I said I don't. No, I'm not. I mean I'm familiar with Zappa, but I can't say like that I immediately know what that's going for. But I was gonna say the fact that you could have a filter, flange, and phaser, and like all three sound good because I thought all three settings sounded really good. So I've always liked that one just for the fact that it packs that much in there.
Yeah, no, it's.
I mean, that's a lot of that's a lot of good modulation for a very small pedal. So
absolutely, and the Rev. So
yeah, the Rev sounds good.
If anybody's looking for a nice drive, the Rev G2 doesn't get enough attention.
No, people kind of dismiss it because it's
an overdrive.
Right, it's a little more in the Plexi family, but
it's a great pedal. Like it's a killer.
Yes,
it's a killer pedal. So if you're looking for an overdrive pedal, certainly looking at that G2.
Yes.
By Rev. The G4 is obviously great. The G3 is obviously great.
Well, and each one for anybody who
you do.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, each one of those is based on like a channel from their amp. So like the G2 is the second channel of the amp, which is like more of the if Rev has a vintage voicing, that would be it. Where it's a little bit more in that Plexi, especially the amp itself actually has a little more just because of the wattage differences. You can kind of get it to do almost that kind of rectifier Marshall sound, which is a little different, a little more sag in there. But anyway,
because I think the new amps they're going to have is going to be there's going to be some stuff that's going to kind of take over for where the Dynamis was, the 740.
Yeah, then you said they're kind of combining a few different models into one more compact combo.
Yeah, I think they're going to kind of like do somewhat of a D20 combo, which is going to be freaking killer.
Yeah,
because I love the D20. Ever since I got it, I'm like, great. Anyway, we're running long. Go check out the guys at Flipside Music.
Yes, check it out. Yes, check out Flipside Music.
Yeah. The Great American Guitar Store. Go check those guys out. Go check out the guys at Texas Toast. If you're still in here, if you haven't left yet, please hit the like button. Tell all your friends. Hit the like button. Tell all your friends to subscribe. We're working on getting things cooking here, so please hit the like button. Go check out Texas Toast Guitars. Go check out Dylan Talks Tone after that.
Yes.
And then we'll be back here next Thursday. Or maybe we'll be at Texas Toast with those guys. I don't know.
We'll see what next week holds.
Yeah, we who the hell knows?
Yes.
So you guys
thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. You guys have a great week. Hey, Dale.
As always, right at the end. Yeah. I feel like Dale would fit in well with us. Like right in the last second. Yeah.
So we appreciate everybody being here. Go check out the fellas, and we'll catch you guys
on the flip side.